Hi guys, so as you can see, I am finally going to see a Broadway show in my 10-day stay here in New York. And if you don't know what the mask is behind me, shame on you. If you don't know, go look up Phantom of the Opera. I'm super excited to see it. It is at the Majestic. I want to say Majestical, but thank you so much. We're at the Majestic Theater, beautiful theater. I was looking at pictures online, so super excited. And the show starts at 2, but I got in line around 1:10, and as you can see, the line is already very long to get in, and we're starting to move, so I will see you guys soon. Well, hello. So as you can see, my adventures took me down to Times Square today. Today was kind of an up in the air day for me, and I originally did have Times Square on my calendar. I wanted to see a play, but I didn't necessarily want to see it at 8 o'clock at night, which is when most of the plays start. I'm so not a night person. The play I had been leaning towards, which is Phantom of the Opera, had a 2 o'clock matinee. I decided to go and check it out. Now, what I did is not a secret to many. Many people told me about this place, so you may or may not be aware of it, but if you ever happen to come to New York City, check out TKTS. And that's exactly how it sounds, TKTS. There is a booth right on Times Square. So I hopped on the subway, went to 42nd Street, got off at 42nd Street, realized I should have gone to 46th Street, but it was another day of walking, which is fine for me. So I got there probably around 11:30 and got to tickets and went up there, and the matinee was 40% off. He had said to me, he was like, you have a fantastic, and I think part of the reason why I got these seats is because it was just me. It was just one. So I actually ended up in row F in orchestra, seat 109, which is almost smack dab the middle. Fantastic seat. I got it for $88, and then with the little fees that they had, it came to $93.50, and I think that seat runs like $145, $150. So I saved 40% off, which was good. Sorry, a cat's going crazy. Twilight goes into this weird playful mood. Twilight, what you doing, handsome? I realized what I thought. I thought I knew where the theater was, and it's called Majestic, but I was at the Marquise Theater, which is not the theater I needed to be at, I realized. So I thought, well, let me go find where Majestic is, because I was still very early. And it's a good thing I went when I did, because the guy at the ticket booth said, just make sure that you're there 11 minutes before start time. And I was like, okay. Well, when I turned down the street, I saw a line, and I thought, this can't be for Phantom. And it was. So went in, sat down, and then I had a couple to my right that spoke no English. They were from China and visiting. And then then another couple, an elderly couple, came in and sat to my left. And the gentleman and I struck up a conversation. And he was saying, oh, we saw this when it was in San Francisco, but we never saw it here. And so, you know, I was sharing with him that I'm in New York cat sitting, and we were sharing pet stories and stuff like that. And him and his wife are up visiting their daughter who lives in Washington, D.C., but they came up to New York for a couple days. Anyhow, the reason why I'm bringing them up is they were so freaking cute. So it was funny because the show started, and in about maybe 10 minutes into it, I looked over and the gentleman was sleeping. So, but he was only asleep for a little while. But it was so cute because when he was waking up, I heard his wife lean over to him and going, this is way better than San Francisco. And she was holding his hand and they were kissing each other. And just the love that the two had between each other was so freaking adorable. I'm still okay being single, but it was too cute. And then during the intermission, he leaned over and he was like, what do you think? And I was like, oh, it's awesome. And he was like, this is way better than the one we saw. We were like, he was like, I really like it, even though he did fall asleep 2 more times. But anyhow, who's counting? So the show. They are very tight on cameras and stuff like that. They're okay with you taking pictures and stuff before the show begins, but as soon as the show is in, if they saw your light on, they were letting you know. So the show in itself it's been a long time since I watched the movie, and that's the only thing I have to compare it to is the movie, which I love and adore. So it's been a long time since I saw the movie, but the show in itself, guys, I'm so glad I went. I'm glad I spent the money. It was worth every penny. The actors and actresses were fantastic. The music was outstanding. The voices were great. There was only 1 or 2 times where I thought the actors' voices were a little low, that you really couldn't understand what they were saying, but it was just so good. And the theater, stunningly beautiful. Stunningly beautiful. My only complaint is it's theater seating, and if you tend to be a big girl like me, you feel like you're overcrowding other people. But the gentleman sitting next to me was a big gentleman, and I'm kind of sore because I was leaning like this the entire time. I feel bad for the lady that was up next to me because she was very skinny, so I was kind of monopolizing a little bit of her space. And the only other negative is, if you've ever sat next to me, you know I have a very high body temperature, so the gentleman's leg was literally against mine, and the poor man, I must have been sweating him to death because I'm sure he could feel my heat because my heat started radiating off of him. So anyhow, but other than that, it was really, really good. Came away with a magnet. I'm not into buying. You know, usually when I go away, I either buy shot glasses or I buy magnets to go home with. It's very rare that I buy a t-shirt or anything like that, although I think I will be getting a sweatshirt while I'm here. So, if you come to New York City, go see a play. I've heard so many good things about so many plays here. I think I chose Phantom of the Opera for the mere reason, besides the fact that I love the movie, that it was a 2 o'clock matinee. I am not a late night person. I visited Chocolate World at Times Square, and for the mere fact that they have rebuilt it, and it's brand new from the last time I was in there. If memory serves me correctly, I'm sorry, Hershey, I know I work for you, but I love the old store better. So, I mean, it was okay. You know, they're still remodeling and doing some things to it. I don't know if they're going to add a second floor to it or not, but then I did Hershey's Chocolate World, and then I walked across the street and did M&M's, and I was more impressed with M&M's than I was Chocolate World. So, but Hershey is my heart. And I think part of the reason is I was comparing it to Chocolate World in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and nothing can beat that. However, I will tell you, I have been in Chocolate World in Las Vegas, and I feel like Chocolate World in Las Vegas overtakes New York. So yeah, that was pretty much it. I did a tour. You're going to see some footage, and then I hopped on the subway and came back home. And I say home, like I live here. Well, I have been for the past 7 days. But that was my day. I hope you guys enjoy the footage. If you do come to New York, look up some Broadway shows. Check out TKTS. Here's a hint for you. Download the app. They have an app every day, either at 10, 11, or sometimes at 2 p.m., depending on what time that booth opens. they will post what shows they have for sale that day. So make sure to check it out. And guys, if you haven't seen Phantom of the Opera and you don't have an opportunity to see it in theater, definitely watch the movie. Beautiful music, beautifully done. I cried, as I did in the movie. I sat in the theater and I cried. It's just a beautiful story. With that, I hope you guys are having an awesome week and a blessed day, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Take care.
Rolling on the wicked world. We're rolling, rolling, rolling on the wicked world. Do-da, do-do, 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 do-do.